everyone, Shannon here again from the Nomad Apothecary. I am coming back with another herbal blurb today. Today we are leaving the kitchen and we are going to the great outdoors into nature, and we are learning about nettles. Nettles are a wonderful herb that is great for skin, GI tract, allergies, and many other things. So what is the Latin binomial of nettles? The Latin binomial is Urtica dioica. That is a very hard name to pronounce, and I've tripped over it 1,000 times already in this video. You're just seeing the good version. So, which parts do we use? He mainly uses the aerial parts, which are like the leaves. We do occasionally use the seeds or the roots, depending on what problem we are treating, but most commonly it is the leaves. The active constituents that are found in nettles that we absolutely love it for is nutrients, flavonoids, amines, and formic acid. The therapeutic actions that it has is it is a great nutritive, a diuretic. It is a great alterative, and that is a herb that works from the inside out in promoting and restoring vitality and health to whatever body system you are working on. It is also a depurative, which means it has purifying effects, which is why it's so great for skin, and it is also an astringent. So how do we use nettles? What do we use nettles for? The two big things that we use it for is your skin and your allergies. So for the skin, due to its wonderful alterative and depurative properties, it's very good at being used on the outside of the skin, making an infusion and washing your face, so your skin in it, soaking it with different types of poultices and things like that as well. And it helps really treat chronic skin conditions very well, like acne, eczema, and psoriasis. So it's just a wonderful herb for that. It's very good at acting on those chronic skin conditions and helping restore the body from the inside out. In those cases, you would want to take them internally and do it externally as well. It is also good for reducing inflammation in your GI tract. It is very good at doing this after an irritation of some sort or an infection where your just GI tract has been messed the fuck up, and this can really help restore that vitality to it and get you back to feeling better. It is also a good anti-diarrheal, which is where that astringent property comes in. It is also really good for breastfeeding women. It's due to its nutritive properties. It's really good at replenishing those nutrients that you lose when you make milk. So it helps keep your milk supply steady. It helps keep your energy up, your body's ability to make milk, you know, up. And it also gives extra nutrients to your baby, which is never a bad thing. And so it helps promote milk flow, and it helps promote a healthy milk supply. So it's really great for breastfeeding mothers. We use the root for cases of BPH, which is benign prostatic hypertrophy, which is where the prostate has swollen and it is pressing on the urethra and preventing a normal flow of urine, which can lead to chronic UTIs, chronic bladder infections, chronic kidney infections, and it can also lead to a lot of pain due to those, and just pain from it pressing on the urinary tract system. So you can take the root as either a tincture or a decoction up to 3 times a day, and that really helps take away the inflammation and decrease the size of the prostate so urine can flow freely and patients' pain can decrease and they can start feeling better and get rid of the chronic UTIs and other issues that they've been having. So it is also the first line of defense for allergies. If you have really bad hay fever, and it's the beginning of spring right now, in most parts of the country, most places are getting rid of snow and all that stuff's coming back to life, so the trees are going to be extra pollen soon, and that can really mess with a lot of people's allergies. So taking nettles up to 3 times a day is wonderful for that. It decreases inflammation in the airways, and it also decreases mucus production, so it's just all around lovely for allergies. So how do we dose nettles? We take nettles usually, if you're using the nettle leaf, as an infusion which is a water-based extraction, or what most of us would call a tea. You take 2 to 3 teaspoons of the nettle leaf to 8 ounces or 240 milliliters of boiling water. Pour the water over top of the nettles, let it steep for about 10 minutes, strain and drink. Nettles can be a bit bitter, so I do recommend mixing in some honey or stevia or some kind of a sweetener to help take some of that bitterness out. Otherwise, it's not super palatable. You can also, if you're doing the roots, you would make a decoction, which is where you take 2 to 3 teaspoons of the roots and you toss it in to the pan with the 8 ounces or 240 milliliters of boiling water, and you boil it for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can't really go wrong by doing longer, so sometimes I go up to 20. It depends on how much I'm trying to pull out. And then you would let that, strain that, let it cool down some, sweeten it, definitely sweeten it. The roots are even more bitter than the leaves, and drink that up to 3 times a day. The roots are definitely, like I said, better for urinary tract system and BPH, so I don't recommend using the roots for anything other than those 2 issues. You can also take it in a tincture format, which is more palatable for a lot of individuals because you don't have to deal with the bitter taste as much. You would take about 3 to 5 milliliters of the 1 to 5 tincture up to 3 times a day. You can take the infusion and decoction up to 3 times a day as well. So, contraindications. Yes, there is one major contraindication. Nettles, due to its styptic and astringent qualities, is very good at causing the blood to clot. So if you have a clotting disorder of your blood, please stay away from taking nettles. It can cause your blood to clot, and it can cause a stroke or a heart attack in the process. So please stay away from it. Especially avoid it if you're on anticoagulants like Plavix, Coumadin, Xarelto, Eliquis, any of those major ones, and even aspirin. If you're taking it for its anticoagulant, anti-clotting effects, please stay away from nettles. It will negate that medication and land you in the hospital. But just so you do know, if you're out in the wild and you're hiking and someone gets hurt and you happen to stumble across a nettle plant, you can take those leaves, crush them up in your hands, place them on the open area in the wound that's bleeding, and it'll stop that bleeding and it'll start the healing process right then. Do wash it out with water first before you do that. Let's not seal any dirt in there, because that's how you get an infection, and then you wind up in the hospital that way too. So that is pretty much everything for nettles today. It was lovely seeing you all again and letting you know all about nettles. If you've used these before with great success, let me know. I want to hear all about your experience with these herbs that I've been talking about. I got a fantastic review today from someone else who has been using them for her father, and it made me cry. It was amazing, the power of these herbs, that she's been watching my videos and using them for her dad who's been very sick, and it's actually helping restore some of that vitality that he's been missing. So please let me know. It makes me so happy to hear that what I am teaching you guys are using and it's helping. I love that. It makes me so ecstatic to hear that. So if you're following me on this video on Facebook, please like my page. If you're on Instagram, I would love a follow. And if you're watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe below so you can keep up with all the ones that I put out. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!